So just now what I have done is till now we have discussed decorator and the use case common usage, but we also can pass arguments through decorators. This is how we do that. We just indented, and we just made another nested function where it allows a window for passing an argument just like a message, and that message can be used inside this print statement. So this is how you pass an argument, and you should not use at the red decorator, which is nothing but this one here, because this is already returned. So whatever the higher one other than that is this. So you can pass an argument like that. Okay. So let me just def greet return yum 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 is equal to good day, and then if I pass this now, what will happen? Sorry. What did we just do? Okay, just to make sure you're not confused much, I'll just stop playing around, and now I'll execute this. We just passed another function as an argument, right? But this function has a return value. If I try to change it to print, and then parentheses are needed, when I execute it, none is the message for this call, because the return type here is none, right? Did you understand? Do I make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is all I can say about the decorators. Feel free to come back if in case you need any clarifications in any corner of the decorators, because this is a valuable topic and an important one in terms of perspective as well. So commonly I expect an update in the document saying that the decorators are used commonly for timing and logging purposes. Decorators are first class functions. When you implement all the properties of this first class functions, we'll get a decorator. And whatever the stuff you understood about decorators, if you can update in the sheet, that will be great. So I think we can go for the more, and we need to discuss about file operations now. Give me 1 moment here. Yeah, so before I discuss the file operations, I'll just quickly open up a PPT which will be self-explanatory for you. Yeah, these are all the file operations that we have. I hope we discussed all the lambda and list comprehensions, right? Did we?
No, we haven't talked about lambda yet.
Okay, fine then. We'll just move this on to our next session, but for now, let's concentrate or focus on this file operations. So we are going to deal with, deal on how to operate
this files. Files in the sense, you how to open a file, how to write your output to a file, and so how to redirect the output to another file. So things like that. There are actually two ways to open a file in Python. I mean, syntactically speaking. Yeah. So one way is, let me just grab my column view. Just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just navigate to desktop and then to Python. So you can just go to, okay, let me grab some txt file. Yeah, I got some text in it. I'm just copying this txt file into sample folder. Let me just go to the sample one. Oh, sorry. I'll just stay back here. Let me just open something called this file op. Yeah, this is perfect. We are already discussing something on this file operations. So there are two ways to open a file. That is, file is equal to, or some variable is equal to open of the file name and the mode of the file. I mean the mode in which you want to open the file. Mode in the sense, there are different kinds of modes available. One, read mode. Two, write mode. Three, append mode. Four, binary mode, like that. So read binary, write binary, so binary. So like that, there are different kinds of modes available for handling the files. So if you say file is equal to open of file name in read mode, you're not allowed to write. When you open the file in write mode, it will replace the text if some text is already existing there. So these are some properties. If you are opening it in append mode, it will not replace, but instead by retaining the old content, it will, in addition, it will add the new content as well. So that's one thing worth observing. So what I will do is I'll just comment out the stuff. Whichever is not needed. So first we'll discuss about read mode. When I say this, so you got whatever is there in the file, right? So let me just test that first. This is what you have, and that is what you got. Does it look, this is what you have, I mean what you got in the output. So this is what you have. One common task I personally do in my personal, one common task. So this is what you got, right? So is it the same one? Observe and tell me first. Or do you sense any difference?
You are there, right?
No, you.
Sorry? Do they look like same?
Sorry?
What are we discussing?
Yes, it's the same one. No. It's not. It's
That's
not.
Oh God, you're
You
alive.
see I don't know the gap in between the paragraphs.
Yeah,
It's
the gap in between them is
Yeah,
more compared to
there's
the original file.
yeah, thank God you observed. So there's a gap, right? So by default, the print statement will allocate a new line. So when we say n is equal to this one, so now it is same, right? This is the output, and let me open the text. This is the text.
yeah, now it is same.
Yeah, now it's
So this is just an end operator we use just for formatting purpose. So this is one way of reading the data, looping over the data that just like that by assigning this variable with this open statement. So the available modes to read a file is read, write, read plus, write, and append, read binary and write binary. So these are the three commands that come handy. So for example, if you say print file1.mode, it will give you the output on what mode you have opened the file. Okay, it's a bit clumsy for me. You have to bear with this. Yeah. Okay. Just a second, guys. We need to rewrite the cast function. Okay. Okay. So when I execute this, sorry, what did I do? Still the for loop is remaining, right? That's why you are getting all this. I take off this for loop and then I execute it again. It says R. So when I say this, it says false. When closed is equal to false, in the sense it's not closed. It means it's still open, right? So that's one more thing, and then I'll do one more. So there's another command called close that we regularly use. So when we do it, the file will be automatically closed. And when we check for the status, it gives true. It means that the file is closed. And that's about the basic intro of file operations. But there's another way to open a file. That will be with open of example.txt r as file1 for I in file1 print file. So you got the same output as you got it when you used open operator, right? So what might be the difference? Can you guess?
Why do we have like three kinds of operators? Any guess?
If you put the print I comma and equal to single colon, then the gap will reduce.
So my question is, why do we have two options here with open and open off?
I think it's just two types. I mean,
They are given the same output. Why two types?
Can you ask the question again? I didn't get your question.
Not too sure. So what I'm saying is, I have something called file is equal to open off, and then declaring the mode. The file is getting open, and I'm able to iterate through a for loop, and I got the text as an output. So I also have this command with open off file name mode, and I'm able to do the same operations here, right?
Yeah.
So what is the difference? Why do we have these two things? I mean, if you have dealt previously with these file operations. So this is another major interview question we can say.
is it required to separately put the file close? Or
Is
it's
it
just, I mean, what I'm saying, I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing it. We may not require to use the file1.close again.
how did you guess that? That's exactly the answer. So
Because it's with open that file name as file1. I mean, I feel it's like when it opens, you do that. So automatically when the execution is done, it will automatically close the file.
exactly, because that was all embedded inside another indentation level.
Right. Yeah.
So when I save this file here, I'm just checking for the status. Got this right? So the first one says false, which means it's not closed in the sense it is open. And the second one says it is true, which means that it is closed. So soon you come up your indentation level, it will be closed. That's how it works.
So we do not require to use the file.close separately.
Yes. So the thing is, we are dealing with multiple files. You always are recommended to use this because let's say you're having some 150 lines of code. In 20th line, you're opening this file. In 60th line or 70th line, you got an error due to which your script was broken. You need to restart that script. So if you open the file in write mode, if you don't close that file, you cannot open it again because it shows an error like the file is already open. You cannot write into the open file. And you don't want that happen. And again, one more important thing is you don't once your script is successfully executed and you are using this file is equal to open off, and then you forgot to close it, so the files will be in the background itself, right? So they still carry the memory, so you don't want that happen. So it's again a performance issue if you have too many files open. So these are the two reasons for which we shift to with open. But is this really that bad? No, we do have our own choices. So for example, if you want to declare an array or a list or a tuple and then write that data into a file, but that tuple or another whatever it is declared in another block or a function, you cannot do that because you'll have to get the data into this indentation, which may or may not be possible depending on the complexity of your code. So in that cases, you use this one, because if you use this one, your file will be live all through the code, all across the script, right? Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one difference.
We will not miss to close the file. That's the main part.
Yes. And not only DXT files, we can deal with any kind of files, any kind of encoding format you can deal. If it is another encoding or another format, we usually do it with read binary and write binary. When you read a file with read binary, whatever the encoding technique it is, it will just open the file in binary mode. That's a universal coding format.